Today we're talking about C-stands, one of the most commonly used stands on every film set. They can be used for everything from lighting to hanging backdrops and reflectors, and even audio equipment as I'm using here. Today we're going to show you how to use them. Now C-stands are large and heavy, so it's important that you always observe safe practices when you carry these around and move them on set. The first thing is to make sure that all of the handles are always tight before you move it. Otherwise it might come loose on you and you might lose some pieces, you might hit somebody, and that would be bad. Also, when you're carrying, make sure that you're always checking your surroundings because you don't want to swing the C-stand around and incapacitate one of your crew members, which is bad. The first thing you're going to do is open the C-stand. Now there's a number of ways you can do this. This is the way that I find the easiest. Again, make sure you check your surroundings before you do this. You're going to pull it up under your arm and hold it flat out like this. You're going to loosen the handle so that way these legs are free. Grab the large leg and rotate it, and you'll feel it click into place. Pull all of the legs around and you'll feel it lock into place, at which point you're going to go ahead and tighten down those legs, and you can go ahead and stand it down. Now that you have your C-stand opened, you have to make sure that you set it up properly. You'll notice that each of the legs are different heights. You're going to want to make sure that you put the largest leg facing towards whatever the weight that you're going to be putting on the C-stand is, whether that's a light, a microphone, or some kind of flag kit. You're going to want to make sure that you always put the sandbag on the tallest leg. Now you put it on the tallest leg so that way all of the weight of the sandbag is holding the C-stand down. If you put it on one of the shorter legs, that weight is going to be on the ground and not on the C-stand, and it can still tip over. So always make sure that you have the longest leg pointing in the direction of the weight, and make sure you always have your sandbag on the longest leg. You'll notice the C-stand has a lot of handles on it. We'll start with these two lower small handles. These are for raising and lowering the C-stand. Make sure that you always use the top clamp first, because otherwise that's going to go out of reach and you won't be able to raise and lower it. Next is this small handle on top. This is for removing the top head of the C-stand. Now you can mount lights directly to this C-stand. If you have a heavier light that you don't want to put on a light stand, you can put it on a C-stand, but it stays right here on the C-stand. If you want to move any of your items farther away from the C-stand, you're going to want this extension arm, which just goes on the top and tightens down. Next is these large grip handles. These grip handles are responsible for holding the weight of anything you put on the C-stand. You're going to make sure that these are always on your right and you're standing behind the C-stand when you get it set up. You're going to loosen the grip handle, raise it up to however high you need, and push it away from you. Then you're going to tighten it down in the direction of the weight. This is one of the most important things about setting up a C-stand. Every time you tighten a grip handle, you have to tighten it in the direction of the weight. When you tighten it in the direction of the weight, when you put weight on this arm, when you push on it, it tightens this, so you never drop anything. If you do it backwards and you put weight on the end, it will just loosen and you'll drop everything. And that is bad. And you know what else is bad? Injuring your fellow crew members. This pole on the end can be very dangerous. So make sure that you always put a tennis ball on the end of this pole so that way you do not injure your fellow crew members. And next, we'll get into how to attach all of the accessories we have available in equipment checkout.
When working with C-stands, you have a variety of accessories available at your disposal. If you look at the end of the extension arm, you'll have two holes, one large hole, one small hole. These holes are industry standards, so anything that'll fit into these holes will work. There's got to be a better way to say that. Okay, like we said, we've got a variety of accessories going to work with this C-stand. First thing you want to do is readjust it so you can get it a little lower so you're not putting it all the way up here. You're going to loosen, you're going to lower. Pay attention to where your weight is going to be. Whatever you're going to mount here, you want to tighten the grip handle toward the direction so that, again, this back section doesn't fall down when you put your mounting device on. I'm going to check the size of the pole that my flag is attached to and find the hole, in this case the smaller hole, that fits. I'm going to loosen this so that this can spin freely and I can insert my flag, put that in place. You can still rock. I'm going to tighten, again, tighten toward the weight. And now you've got a flag that is ready to block some light. When it comes to mounting audio gear on a C-stand, your best friend is going to be a boom cradle. First thing we're going to do, I'm going to grab my grip handle. I'm going to loosen it just a little over a half turn in this case. This one's a little wobbly. It's going to keep coming out. There we go. I'm gonna set this off to the side. Gonna come back, grab my boom cradle. This is gonna fit in the smaller hole on the C-stand, so I'm gonna put that in place. All right, make sure that the open end of the boom cradle is positioned toward where your end of your boom pole is gonna be. All right, I've got my boom pole. Gonna feed it from the front to the back. Gonna let it rest on the foam grip handle. And now the boom cradle is doing its job. You're ready to put this mic over top of somebody to do an interview.
The last accessory is the mini boom. This is used for putting heavier objects on the C-stand, usually a light that's used for hair light or some sort of overhead light. It has a separate head than what's already on the C-stand. So what we're gonna do, loosen this half a turn and remove the existing head with the extension arm. Now you've got your mini boom. You'll place this just on top, tighten it down just how you removed your extension arm. And you'll notice that this has a hook on the end of it. This hook is for a counterbalance because you're gonna be putting heavier things on the end. So you can see that this is adjustable by the handle. That'll be able to slide it forward and backward depending on how you need to balance, as well as the second one out here for extension. This end mounts your lights. As you'll recognize, this looks like just any light stand or even the base of the C-stand for mounting those lights. Then you're gonna go ahead and tighten it down wherever you need. Again, make sure that you always tighten this handle in the direction of the weight. With this, it's always important, but with this, it's even more important. I cannot stress enough, you must tighten the grip handle in the direction of the weight. Before you put any items on the end of this, make sure you use this hook to put another sandbag on the end of this hook to counterbalance. Then you're ready to mount up on the end of this pole. Now you know how to safely and effectively use the C-stand and all of its accessories. If you have questions about anything else in checkout, make sure you check the YouTube channel below. Have fun shooting, and make sure that you keep your crew members safe.